All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Hi, let me be decent. Welcome to Show and Tell, the burpiest engineering show on the internet.
We just got
Nice had some dinner.
Stop engineering. Consume calories. Go back to engineering or talking about engineering.
I know it's nonstop here. It's me, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada, the OG. Sometimes we have other people host Show and Tell, but for now, you're stuck with us. Next 20-ish minutes, we're gonna see what's up in the world of making and hacking, coding and soldering and tweaking and noodling and other stuff. We'll check in with some Adafruiters, see what they're up to. Always get to see an update on the stuff that they're working on, see behind the scenes. Let's kick it off with Scott.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm no video because I'm going to plug in my fruit jam here.
Okay.
And power it up and see what we got. Hopefully it'll work. No sound.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I'm doing the boot up sound. For every purchase of a fruit jam, I sing the boot up sound.
We ship you one fill.
Nice.
It's a living.
So here's the menu that so a lot of this is Tim's work. What I'm doing is I'm putting it together. So I'm trying to get it to, there we go, select the matrix. And then I think this is actually a demo that Ann did and Tim ported. So what I've been working on is kind of making what we think of as the OS of Fruit Jam built on CircuitPython. So what we saw there is we saw the boot animation as boot.py. We saw the selector thing as the code.py, and then it delegates out to different apps. And it'll auto-discover those. It doesn't currently auto-discover them right now, but it kicked out here to the matrix. And then I think if we Control-C on the keyboard, I was hoping it would go back to the code.py, but it didn't.
Well, live debugging.
So it just does the directory list and whatever is like named .py. That's considered one of the little icons.
Gonna do that, yeah. So I was thinking about having like an apps folder, and then every folder would have like apps matrix, apps snake, apps nyan, all that sort of thing, and then you'd be able to like copy and paste other apps in there too. Yeah,
you can put a little icon like name whatever the name of the py file is. So it could be like snake.py or snake.bmp for the.
This is giving me like big video toaster retro vibes, you know, like very Amiga-esque.
Yeah, and I'll point out it's also using the LVGL font stuff that I was using. So the little snakes there around the word snake are snake emoji from Unifont that the thing is loading in. And there's a brain emoji there too and a cat emoji.
Good test.
So yeah, thanks to Tim for doing all this work. I'm excited to see it all come together.
Yeah, this is one of the many things along the what can you build with Python. So we started out with like very simple things, like you could do the little ruler, you could do a keyboard, you could do a calculator, you could do a mouse, you could do a more advanced keyboard.
Yeah.
You could do something like a PyPortal, but now we're talking about you could do a full game console, a full operating system.
Yes.
This is neat.
Yeah, I was
and of
poking
course you can program in Python.
I was poking at doing the editor as well, so expect to see like an editor icon here. But I wanted to play around with like bumping between like the game that you want and the code you're editing and back and forth.
Yeah.
So having this like whole thing is a good test.
Very cool. All right, good stuff, and we'll see some of this at your deep dive this week, I'm sure. And Tim will be up here showing some stuff shortly. Thank you.
Thanks,
Scott. Okay, next up we're going to go to JP. JP, what you got going on this week?
Hey, yeah, so speaking of Fruit Jam, I have my Mario Paint homage here, Mario Paint music homage. I'm calling it Lars EO Paint. I showed this last week. It's running on a Fruit Jam. I've got a mouse plugged into it for all of your editing needs. And then I have right now just PWM audio output, but I'll be moving that over to our I2S amp that's built on board. And it is DVI video running out to this display. Last week I showed this and I had MIDI output, depending on where I placed notes. That's all been replaced. Now I've got sample playback of some wave files. So if you see these hearts and Lars, those call up samples. And then these other notes are playing synth.io. So I have a whole bunch of polyphony, I have a whole bunch of different synth voices going on. This one is a little dense. I'm going to play it and then I'll erase it and show you just a couple notes.
Okay, let's jam.
Bring it back around. Bring it home, Lars. All right, so if I clear
does Lars go meow? Is that his
Lars goes
sound?
meow. Yeah, Lars goes meow right now. So if I pick my first sample here and play those. There's a little Lars, and then I have these bass notes with the hearts. And you can hear using the mixer, Audio I/O mixer, I'm able to have multiple notes playing at the same time. So we have polyphony, even of the same sample at the same time. And then the rest of these are synth I/O notes. And I've got a little preview when I click them down so you can play them. And then I got a little sine wave that's lower.
Sounds pretty good for PWM output.
Yeah, it's not bad, and I don't even have an RC circuit on it, so I'm getting away with.
You'll be like very impressed when you have the speaker output of the headphone out. The headphone out's like really nice.
Should be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my fun fruit jam thing I'm working on, and I'll be digging into that a little more tomorrow on the show. So come on.
Okay, music jam for fruit jam.
This is cool. Full on like operating system, a full music creation studio, all with the fruit jam.
Okay.
That was me.
All right, thanks, JP. All right, and then folks can tune in to your workshop tomorrow. JP,
come on in.
The
water's great.
All right, Liz, what you got going on this week?
Hey, so this is a project I've been doing just for fun. I have a pocket operator here, and one thing I've always wanted to do is be able to control the pitch. Traditionally with the pocket operator, you can control it by turning like a knob here, so you're kind of like cycling through all of them. So I used a DAC, MCP 4728, to kind of tap into the ADC on here to send voltages that correspond with the different notes. So once I did that, then I made this PCB with some MOSFETs so that it could trigger the buttons and the solder to the buttons here. And then it's using a KB2040 with CircuitPython to bring MIDI in to play the pocket operator. And so each of the voices is assigned a different MIDI channel. So I'll go ahead and play a quick MIDI thing from Reason, and you should let me know if you can hear it okay. And then I can also change the voice on the fly. So I made this PCB, and I went a little nuts with the PCB art. I used the DXF file that Teenage Engineering has to put the pocket operator on the back, and a bunch of emojis. Yeah, and then on the front too.
I'm sure people would want to see this. Are you going to write a guide for it or publish the files?
Yeah, I'll definitely publish up the files. Yeah, it was just something I'd always wanted to do, is try to MIDI control it, which I'm pretty excited with how it went. Yeah.
Okay, looks good.
Thanks so much, Liz.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Very cool. Tim, some of your handiwork was displayed earlier. What else you got going on?
Yes, good evening. So I have I've also been working on a set card game for the Fruit Jam, although it will launch first on the Metro RP2350, which is what I did today, is get it right.
Your mic's a little crackly, but
let me try to bring it in a little bit closer. Hopefully that's a little better.
Crackle.
Sorry, are you able to understand me at least?
Yeah, I think you should just push through. It's okay to be a little crackly sometimes.
Okay. So I've been working on the set card game. It's running on the 350 today. For anyone who doesn't know the way the game works, you look for sets of 3 cards, and I have it set up with two mice here. So I have the USB hub, and I have 2 mice connected to that, and then I can move them both around independently. And the way it works is you call set by right-clicking, which puts a little arrow by the player, and then I stared at this ahead of time, so I know where a couple of sets are, so you can go through and click them. And then I'll do one on the other player too. Go 2, 3, and then it will remove them. It will deal new cards for you. And if all the players click the no set button down here, then it will deal out a new column of cards. And you can do that twice to get 2 new columns. And then if you do it again, it will end up just redealing the whole table back to the original 12, or not the original 12 cards, but down to 12 new cards. And then the one other thing I'll show real quick on it is I have auto save and reload. So
Oh.
This time it will reset. So let me reset it with the button. Let's see. But the good news is the same score, the same cards are on the table, the same places, the same cards are in the deck. So we can just pick where we left off and game here after dinner or whatever we need to do, which I think is super cool.
All right.
Okay, I think we understood
Yeah,
a lot of it.
we got most of it. You know, we're getting closer to being able to make a press your luck game.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be the next thing, Tim. Does.
Yeah,
Thanks so much, Tim.
up. Yep.
Thanks, Tim.
No
See ya.
whammies. No whammies. No whammies. Let's go to the next person. Okay. We're gonna go to Brent, and then we're gonna go to Squid, and then VJ, and then Mark. Brent, what you got going on? I think you are on mute, Brent.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I
Hi.
was talking to
You got going
Dan
on?
about something. Yeah, so I've been working on, in addition to like this WipperSnapper offline mode, we have a new guide from Tyeth in the learning system this week too about it. So this is like a first, I guess, attempt at the offline mode requires like this secrets or like this configuration file. And it's a little bit difficult to ask people to write their own config file, even though like it is human readable and it is syntax, that's not code. But it's still like confusing. It's like, what settings do I have to add? What like measurements can it read? So like this is the first attempt at like automatically creating this configuration file. So I'll like plug in another sensor to my board. So like on boot, there's the configuration file sits on the file system and it pulls from that config file. And then if it doesn't find anything in the configuration file, or it finds similar things, it starts automatically discovering I2C devices and then logging them out. And it's interesting because it like does the best attempt at everything. So it's not like if you have a BME 280 and a BME 680 which share the same address, you would have like the one that like maybe the second one in that file, and then the other one could be automatically discovered after. So there's like a lot of edge cases. I'm kind of like working this out if I want it to work this way, or I want it to be more like hard set by the user where they're like, I have this sensor, now I have this sensor, now I have this sensor, and it builds it out. But it's kind of neat to like plug and unplug sensors and see values show up on the screen automatically. And that's pretty much what I'm working on.
That's cool.
All righty.
This is looking really good.
Thanks so much, Brent.
I like how you like plugged it in. It was like, that's scary, but you're like, I'm gonna just gonna plug it in. See what
Yeah,
happens.
that's why I like this, and I don't want to give up on it. But there are some weird edge cases that I'm running into where I'm like, maybe it's not the best idea. So maybe we could synthesize this with another idea.
Okay. Well, the only way you find the edge cases is by actually doing stuff.
This reminds me of like the promise of all the stuff that Genie and Java would do. You'd put a device on the network and it would announce what it was.
Yeah, it's like it'll auto config.
It'll announce on the network. You gotta watch out for name collisions, things like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Alrighty, next up we're gonna go to Squid. Squid, what's got going on? Squid JPEG.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
If I can share my screen real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh goodness, it wants me to do all these things. I thought I had already done this before.
Yeah, I always get caught in a allow. Would you?
Yeah.
Press? Are you sure you really wanna? Could you double check? Watch out for the Hamburglar.
Oh, it wants me to reopen a whole bunch of stuff. That's that's so annoying. Okay, well, I can't show it. I had this really cool time lapse that I was going to show off that really kind of
come back next week.
Yeah, I'll come back next week and show it. But I can still show off what I have right now.
Yeah.
So I have been working on an ISS tracker for the MagTag.
Nice.
If you guys can see that.
Neat.
And this was inspired by, I was tweeting that I wanted to do it on Blue Sky, tweeting on Blue Sky. And shout out to Simon Prickett. He linked me to his project where he did something similar on a Pomeroni Badger RP2040. And so when I saw what he had done with the e-ink display, I thought that was just a really brilliant use of something like this, because the display can only be refreshed every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting like an API to download all this data, and so I don't want to hit it too often either because it's rate limited. So it worked out really well. And so like I said, I put together this really cool time lapse and going over the span of a couple of hours, and it shows it moving across the screen, and you can see like right now that it shows the name of the location over where it is. And I added a couple of other little features too. One of these, let me see, which side is everything on? Here we go. You can switch between kilometers and miles in the display.
Okay.
Has a little night light you can turn on. Oh, that's actually, it's fetching data right now. That's what that little blinking light means. So it's going to update there. And yeah, you can turn on little night lights
over the ocean. Yeah.
And it's got auto rotation and all that stuff.
That's
so you
cool.
can use it in any orientation that you want. And another little feature that is in the video that I can't show off right here is there's a little icon up here near Colorado. That's me. And whenever it gets within 1,000 feet of that, all the lights light up red to let me know that it's close by.
Look up.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
nice.
So
Neat.
it's kind of a neat little feature too.
That's so cool.
I
gotta fix the MagTag and get it back in the store.
One
It's
of the other
been years now.
projects we had was how many humans are in space.
Oh yeah, I think you can get that same data from the open Notify API that I'm getting the coordinate of the ISS from as well. Yeah,
that's always good to know. And I feel like we missed out on an opportunity, but then you're also always nervous that things aren't going to work out. Like the 2 astronauts that were stranded.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have like how many days are they stranded, but then like things could have really went bad, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah, then it would have been a little morbid. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like I don't like this at all. But they made it. They made it back. All right, very cool. Well, thanks. Can come back and show the time lapse and more.
I'll be
Cool
back.
project.
All right, thank you, Squid.
Thanks. Take care.
All righty.
Thanks,
Next, VJ, what you got going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let's see if you can hear this. Wait, did I turn it off? Okay, can you hear this? Or I might have to switch it.
Oh yeah.
No.
Nothing. Okay, hang on. Let me try switching my in the settings here real quick.
Yeah.
And let's see, audio and
Well, worst case, we could go to Mark if that doesn't work out, and then we can come back. And you can like try while we're over there, and if we hear a trumpet or I don't know what this is.
Meow.
You think it's gonna meow?
I mean, why not, right? JP's thing meowed.
Yeah, I think VJ.
Meow.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. I'm not sure what I did to get it to work that one time.
Yeah, there's no real manual on hooking these things up to the internet.
It's so difficult. It's like just my OBS. I'm going through OBS, and
I know. I guess it's terrible.
All right. Well, why don't you try to
Keep hacking.
keep at it, and we'll go to market. If you get it, you get it, and if not, just come back next week.
yeah, maybe I'll just make a little video to put into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, that'll be easiest.
Okay.
All right.
All righty.
Thanks.
Mark.
Thanks, VJ.
Play us out, Mark.
Sounds good. As somebody who has had to hack way too much together to get audio from my keyboard to the CircuitPython device to OBS to you guys, I understand those frustrations. So I know some people saw I've been working on a reverb effect, and I just wanted to show it off. So right now, this is just regular trumpet wave, no reverb. But then we can start adding it in a little bit. But then we start increasing the size. And hopefully that's loud enough to start hearing it. It's getting a nice reverb, I guess, for lack of something, any other term to it now.
It gives it such a bigger sound. It's like, now it's a stadium for like Mario Kart.
Yeah, the basic triangle wave that just is the default with CircuitPython works really nice for reverb compared to the chorus effect I made where it doesn't work so great. So again, I hope to get this out soon so people can start experimenting with it and try it. I have to clean it up. There's still a lot to do. Moving reverb over from, it's based on a project called Freeverb, which was put into the public domain years ago, and there's a lot of implementations out there. But getting it then to run on microcontrollers at a acceptable rate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I've been really happy about how it's turning out and all the different audio stuff. So I think this will kind of give us a more complete set of basic effects to start now.
Yeah, cool sound. It'll be neat because we just saw Scott's, full computer. We might get to a spot where you have basically a full piano. I can do enough stuff with CircuitPython to have kid's computer or kid's piano. Lots of little effects.
Yeah, this will be useful for JP's Lars synth.
Make your own synth, make your own computer, make your own keyboard, make your own mouse, make your calculator, all those things that you can do with CircuitPython. All right, well, thank you so much.
Even for the Lars meow sound too, that's just a wave file. You can play that through the reverb as well.
Yeah.
So you can put any audio effects through it. So
JP's like thumbs up.
Yeah. So
okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
Little nightmare vision. Okay, great.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. That was our show and tell this week. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We do the show and tell every week. Come by, show and share your projects and more. Ask an Engineer starts in just a few minutes. Bye-bye.
Bye.